and I'm using it to protect my friends.
Let's go!
What's up, you guys? Welcome to this video, and in this video I'm only giving my thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog. I just saw the movie recently and I want to put my thoughts out, talk about how it's done at the box office and all that good jazz. So this movie, everyone knows the whole story, how the movie got delayed just because that original Sonic design was so hideous to the fact that they had to push the movie back. Me, I'm not really what I call a hardcore Sonic fan. I've played some of the games, and some of them are actually pretty fun. I loved Sonic Generations when that came out. But other than that, I'm more sort of like a casual fan that can appreciate Sonic. But even me, just being a casual fan, I looked at the design and like, yikes, that's a poop fest right there. And thankfully, it was the only good thing about it was that it was the birth of many good internet memes and stuff like that. So with this movie, they ended up giving us later on a much better looking Sonic. And the trailers, actually, the second trailer actually did look kind of fun. But with a movie like this, whenever it's like a cartoon character coming into live action and being CG, those movies are usually, almost all of them are really kind of iffy, like Garfield, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Yogi Bear, Scooby-Doo, all of that stuff. And to be honest, this was like, kind of like, is this going to be one of those? The movie itself is the plot is what you've seen from the trailers. Sonic, he's on the run from Dr. Robotnik Eggman. He's got to go on the run and team up with James Marsden, who's kind of like a cop in this movie, and sort of find a way to get Sonic home. And yeah, it's really kind of like a basic plot, really it's kind of like a kid's movie plot. And that's kind of the best way that I'll describe this movie right here. It aims to be more sort of like a kid's movie. You know, it doesn't really, I don't think the way this movie was sort of directed, presented, and all that kind of stuff, that was really sort of going to sort of appeal to sort of a larger, sort of like adult audience. This was really something that when you watch it's like, okay, this is mainly sort of for kids right here. And for me, that was kind of disappointing because I would have liked to have seen this movie take more of sort of to try and aim higher, if you will. I wanted sort of a tone more of like sort of like Detective Pikachu, where I don't think Detective Pikachu is like a great movie, but that movie, the way it was sort of presented, it wasn't something that was sort of like trying to appeal to like kids like under 10 years old and stuff like that. You know, it had sort of higher aspirations, and you could tell that by the way the film was directed and stuff like that. This movie, unfortunately, you can tell that they are really just saying, you know what, this is just for the kids right here, so we're not going to really try all that hard. As long as we got that blue hedgehog and he's running fast, doing his things, telling jokes, that's fine by things. And when it came to the quality of the movie itself, I don't know. It was just kind of up and down for me. You know, sure, you got Sonic. He looks great. The design here is much better. He's doing his thing. But just everything that's surrounding him just isn't all that great. The whole reason that he needs to be along with sort of like James Marsden to get to San Francisco, it's all like, well, okay, that's really kind of forced, but sure, why not? Other than that, it's just telling sort of a whole lot of jokes, just a whole lot of stuff to entertain the kids. And some of this stuff was kind of funny, but a lot of it I was just kind of like, you know, maybe I'm just too old for this. I don't know. It's just really not doing all that much for me. The best thing in the movie, and the thing that definitely did keep me entertained, was Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik Eggman. I could tell just from the trailers, when those first trailer came out, I was like, holy shit. Jim Carrey's going back to sort of his 90s Ace Ventura days, where he was just on so many drugs, just all over the place. His mouth is all over the place, stuff like that. And that's what you get in this movie right here, man. All these years later, Jim Carrey, he's still got it. And it's great to see, because I love Jim Carrey, man. You can just, this guy just puts his all into every role he's in. And he's just so much fun to watch when he's doing sort of his comedy thing and not really sort of the more serious stuff he's been trying to be doing for the last decade. And yeah, him as Dr. Robotnik Eggman, he's actually pretty damn funny. Including probably the most like weirdest, funniest scene is just like this amazing sort of like what the fuck dance number he's got, where he's doing sort of like a stripper dance, and then there's this weird thing where a dinosaur is involved. Oh man, it's just really sort of awkward, but just really kind of funny. And so Jim Carrey as Eggman was definitely the funnest thing in the movie. There were some moments where the movie did have some pop, and it was sort of like aiming a little higher. Some of the action sequences at the end are so like, okay, it's just kind of like a portal sequence where the action's not that bad. Some of the stuff Sonic does is okay. The effects, for the most part, like I said, I thought Sonic did look great, and they had some good sort of tie-ins and references to the game and stuff like that. But overall, this movie just didn't really do it for me all that much. Like I said, it aimed too much to be sort of like a kid's movie, and I would have liked to see it sort of aim a little higher to be something more of a quality picture, if you will. So for that, I'm gonna end up giving Sonic a 5.5 out of 10. I think it'll be great for kids. Kids are definitely going to enjoy this movie. It's harmless. There's nothing offensive about it. But I just think quality-wise, it's just not all that strong. Now, when you look at the box office for this movie, holy shit! At the time I'm putting this video out, the opening weekend already passed by. It ended up doing 58 million. Once it did 50, I saw it did 58 million. I'm all like, shit! What the hell am I missing? Maybe I should go out and see this movie. And so the whole question is like, why has this done so well in comparison to something like Birds of Prey, which I actually thought was really enjoyable, but it just ended up flopping big time. I mean, at the time, that movie is just not looking pretty, and it's sad just because that's a good movie. Well, I can sort of think what's happened. I think the whole redesign thing they did with Sonic actually ended up, of course, initially it brought a whole lot of negative publicity to the movie when it's all like, look at this Sonic design. This is going to be total shit. And had they released that design in the theaters, this movie would not have done well at all. But I think when the whole thing came out that, okay, they're going back, they're redesigning Sonic, and then we're going to give you a much better looking Sonic and delay the film, I think that gave a whole lot of positive publicity to where when that second trailer came out, people are all like, oh, okay, the filmmakers actually care. It's one of the few times where a studio actually does care and sort of go the extra mile to sort of appease the fans. And it really did pay off for them with that box office, because that 58 million, that's what's up right there. I talked about this being a kids movie. That goes directly against Birds of Prey, which is R-rated. And I think Harley Quinn ends up skewing a lot more to apparently to younger audiences that would not be able to purchase a ticket for a rated R movie. So I think that's mainly the reason why that movie's not doing all that well, just because Harley Quinn really does have a whole lot of younger fans who unfortunately just can't purchase a ticket. And yeah, that's sort of what led to the box office that movie's doing. And it's unfortunate just because that's a really enjoyable movie. I wish it was doing better, but ain't no one can stop that hedgehog. He's quick, you can't stop him, and he's grabbing all that money from all of y'all. So with how well this movie's done, they're definitely going to go ahead and go with that Sega cinematic universe. If you've seen the movie and you've seen the opening sort of Sega intro, it's sort of the whole thing like the Marvel Cinematic Universe intro, where it's shown going through all like the Sega games and sort of showing like, boom, we got our whole universe going for us. And with how this movie did opening weekend, yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a thing that's going to end up happening. So hey, good for that hedgehog. He really pulled through. So that'll do it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.